Hello friends, today I'll be sharing a day trading strategy, and in this strategy we'll be looking at end to end, starting with stock selection to what are the parameters to be used, and what would be the entry and what would be the exit points, right? So I got a request from a couple of my friends, and they wanted me to share a day trading strategy where they can maximize profit and have a successful trade at the end of the day, right? So let me share this strategy, and please do paper trading first, so that you get familiar with the market movements and with this new setup. And once you're comfortable, you can start trading live. So let me uh, share the strategies. First is the stock selection, and for stock selection, I uh, prefer to have a list of stock that I'll be trading for next trading session, and for that particular reason, I use the inside candles pattern formation. So on a day chart, what generally I do is I filter out all the uh, stocks which has formed the inside candle pattern, and once I have the list of stock, I further filter out what are the stocks which will have good moment based on the volatility, and then finally I add those stocks to my watch list on the next trading session. And based on the patterns, based on the indicators that I'll be sharing next in the next slides, I make an entry and book profits. So it is as simple as that, but definitely you need a lot of practice, and throwing some more light on the inside candle pattern. So basically, if you look at this diagram here, so the candlestick price, the high and the low, is inside the prayer bars range. So if you look at this previous day candlestick, so this is the high and this is low. And the next day, since there was an indecision between the buyers and sellers, and then the candlestick could not break the high of the previous bar or the low of the previous bar, and resulted in the inside candle formation. So what actually happens is we filter out and select the stocks which has formed this inside candle selection, and on the next trading session on a 15-minute chart, we would be looking for possible entry and exit. So this is the criteria for stock selection, and I generally like to keep my chart very simple. So there are just a few indicators that I prefer to work with, and with which I am comfortable. So first is to identify the trend. I would be using a simple moving average for a period of 50, and for potential entry, what would be the entry point? I would be using super trend uh, with a customized setting of factor 2 and period 10, right? The multiplier is 2 and the period is 10. And the second super trend, the multiplier is 4 and the period is 10. And for to trail the profit and for the possible uh, exit, I'll be using Hull moving average. This is a very nice indicator, and I've been working with this indicator for quite some time, and I find it more reasonable to book profit or to exit the stock while I'm trading, right? And the last one is to filter, because you would find plenty of stocks which will have inside candle formation, but it is important to identify stocks which has good amount of strength. And to identify the strength, I would be using the directional movement index uh, indicator. And the parameters what I would be looking is the ADX value should be greater than 20. So this is to confirm the strength of the indicator. And the stock what I'm going to trade, if the plus DI is above 30, then probably I will go for a long position. And if the minus DI is greater than 30, if it is anywhere between 30 and above, then I will be looking for a possible short position. So these are the indicators, and now I'll be opening up my technical charting tool, and I'll be showing you how to do the stock selection, and using the inside candle pattern, and also I'll be showing you the patterns, and we'll look at a couple of examples. So in front of me, I have this technical analysis and charting tool, a product called Spider Iris Plus from Spider Software India. So I prefer to do all my technical analysis on this charting tool, and I find it much more easier than a web-based charting tool to do all my analysis and follow the trend, right? So on on uh, on the right side of my screen, I have a query window. So basically, this has a option where you can write a query and filter out the required kind of stocks that you want to do. So I'm going to write a simple query and to filter out inside candle formation. So go to studies, add price indicator, and on a daily chart, daily time frame, I'll be using a filter called inside bar, right? So this is the filter, and once I have added this, I need to select the stocks, right, where I want to uh, scan for potential inside candle formation, and this is the condition 0, and so I'll be entering condition 0 and the description here as inside candle, right, and I'm going to execute this query. This is a simple query. All right, so you can see that there's a whole list of stocks that has formed inside candles. So this is what I was mentioning about. So these are the candles which has formed inside. So basically, on 13th of April, so these were the list of stocks where we have the inside candle formation. So the high and the lows are within the prior candle, which is also called as mother candle, right? So so these are potential stocks where we can do trading on the next trading session based on the breakout of this inside candle. So what I generally do is I try to add a filter here because this is a huge filter. So I'm going to filter out on prices which are above 150 value of 150. So this is to further filter out stocks which will minimize and give me a Alright, so if you look at now, these are the stocks which has a price above over and above 150 rupees. So I want to limit my watch list, and I don't want to trade just so depending on your trading style, you can definitely if you don't want to trade on stocks which are, for example, like PNB, this is 1000 plus rupees, and you don't want to stay. So you can filter, add a filter where you can show that the price value is less than the range, right? So these were the candles which has formed in the NSE 200 world. So these were the stocks which has formed inside candle. Look at this such a big inside candle formation on the for the BPCL on 13. So on the next trading session, so more likely is it has already broken the it is in a downtrend, and it has tried to retrace a couple of times, and it is still going down. So we can look for short on this on the next trading session based on the breakout of the inside candle. Let me go ahead and make some changes here to show you more examples. So I'm going to select inside candle which has formed on I would say on 12th. So I'm going to change this parameter. So these were the stocks which has formed inside candle on 12th, right? These were the stocks. So I can go and change the parameter to show me the list of candles because I'm recording this session after the market. So I wanted to show you what really happened. So if you look at this is a possible, these stock Oro Pharma is an uptrend, and on 12th it formed an inside candle. So this definitely came to the watch list, and we got this potential to trade on these stocks, right? So I'm going to minimize this window, and now I'm going to change this to 15-minute time frame, and I will show you what would be the possible entry point and how do we trade. So this was the day when the inside candle had formed. It could not break the high of the previous day or the low of the previous day, right? So there was an indecision between the buyers and sellers, and inside candle was formed. Now coming to the possible entry and exit. So if you look at on 13th, there was a good up move, and then later it could not sustain the up move because of various factors, right? So first thing is just for the confirmation, right? So as I mentioned in my presentation, I'm going to add a simple moving average for 50 period, and so this simple moving average confirms the trend of the underlying stock. So it is already an up move, right? As I can see based on this uh, average line. And next, I'm going to add super trend indicator with a parameter of 2 and 14, right? And I'm going to change this color lines, and I'm going to include another super trend, plot another super trend here indicator with parameters 4 and 14, and I'm going to change the color as well here. Alright, so now as you can see, let me maximize this window so it is easier to look at, right? So let me first hide one super trend. So you can see that when you add a single super trend, it does not give you a possible entry point. Where do you enter the stock, right? So do you enter here, do you enter here, or where do you enter the stock? It definitely confirms that it is an uptrend since this period, 12th from 12th of April. It is definitely an uptrend, but does not tell us do we where do we enter, right? So that is the reason, primary reason I have added this second super trend indicator with a parameter of 4, 14 and 2 and 4, 14, right? So now we will look for possible crossovers of super trend indicator, and we could see that there is a crossover which has happened at this place, and this is my signal candle. So I would go and buy above the high of this candlestick, right? So on the this is my signal indicator, and I would make an entry on the next uh, next candle, right? So I would buy here. And where do we book our profit, or where do we trail our profit, right? So for that purpose, we'll be looking we'll be adding, but before that, need to understand what is the strength of this underlying stock. That is more important, because you will always find a crossover of super trend, but is it good enough to make an entry? Because if you look at here, there is a crossover here, and there's a downtrend, and then again the stock moved between the super trend range. Okay, the most important thing is when you're trading with the two super trend indicator, you will have to avoid the stock when the stock prices move from either downside within the between the super trend bands, right? So you will have to avoid. This is the area where you are not supposed to trade, and this is the other area where you are not supposed to trade, because there is no strength, and you're most likely to make book profit. So you can find those are the periods when you're not supposed to make it. It is a more or less like a sideways movement, right? Now coming to the identifying the strength, I'll be using directional movement indicator with a default rating of 14 period BI and ADX 14. So as you can see that it is plotted here, directional movement index indicator, and I'm looking for and the AD value should be above 20, right? So that is good enough for us to trend, and the plus DI should be at least a minimum of 30 for us to make a trend. So if you look at, so that there is an up move here, there is already 30, and there is a, so the moment the stock price went down, you can see that there is change from 30 to 28, 29, and then you can see that again it started moving to, and later on you can see that there is a fall in plus DI. The value of DI is declining from the starting with 41 to 38, and at the same time you can see that over a period of time the stock price has also declined, right? So this will tell us the possible entry point and the strength of the indicator, right? And Now that we know the entry signal, the entry, we would be making an entry here where to be book profit. So we will be adding the last indicator, which will be for booking profit and also to trail our profit and exit. So I'll be using hull moving average with a period of 10 here and right. So let me change the color of this indicator so that it is clearly visible, right? So the white line, right? So this is the hull moving average, and we will be following once we make an entry, right? So after we make an entry, we would be trailing our prices, and when we see that there is a when the stock prices closes below the hull moving average, we will make an exit on the next candle. So because I would strongly advise to wait for the candlestick to close, and once you have the complete confirmation that the stock price the stock price has closed below the hull moving average, right, so you will make an exit. Please do not wait, because look at this, the stock went up, and then you had an indication that there is a weakness, and you wait for the stock the candlestick to completely form, and once you have the confirmation that this is bearish, so on the next candlestick you can make an exit, right? So you would ideally see the stock opened up here and it closed here, and so on the next candle it opened up here, and there would have been within the 15 minutes there would have been much movement. So don't wait for the further candle to get a confirmation either is it going up or down. So at the same time, if you look at the AD plus D DI value, it is declining, which is confirming that the strength, underlying strength, is also reduced, and it is going to change, right? So you should ideally make an exit. So this is for the conservative traders, and for aggressive trader, you can definitely take an advantage of the stock price trailing until you have confirmation. The moment you see that the stock price has closed between the bands, right, so that is a definite confirmation that you have to exit the stock. Because what would happen is, see, the stock price went up and then it started declining, and then it tried to come back, but it could not rain, and it ended up closing within the super trend. So that is how you trade with the simple filter. So I would suggest keep the chart simple. Do not cluster your chart with too many indicators. This is good enough to make it successful. Uh, or at least minimize your once you make it. See, most of the time what happens is you would enter a stock and you'll find that the stock is not moving in the right direction, right? So you should exit the stock, and in real time you'll find that most of the time the stock would not all the indicators would not match. So you'll have to do paper trading first, and you'll have to understand. So look at this. You got a possible crossover here, and you'll buy above the high of this, which did not happen on the same day, but on the next trading session it definitely opened up with a bigger candle, and you would make an entry on the next candle, right? And you'll trail until you have a red candle, which when the price closes below the hull moving average, you'll make a possible exit. And for the aggressive trader, you can trail until the super trend until the prices falls within the super trend bands, and that is how you uh, trade with the super trend indicator setup. Do post your queries, friends, and also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can also join my Telegram channel to keep yourself updated with the upcoming videos and important information, right? Thanks for watching.